Clement.
I'm Isaac Sims.
And I'm Walter Lyle. I'm back.
Back, baby.
I had no good reason to not be on the last one. I just didn't want to.
He said,
how sad would that be if I was like, I'm just not feeling this one, y'all. I don't
Well, guys,
care.
I'd come record, but I don't want to.
I don't want to.
I've decided I have better things to do with my time.
He said, I have a life.
Olivia, what is this podcast?
This is Flyover Film Country. It's a podcast about movies set in places off forgotten by Hollywood, even though that's really not what we're doing anymore, but that's okay. That's for next year to figure out. That's for future Flyover Film Country hosts to figure out.
Today's movie actually does qualify.
I do think it does.
Because I think it's Flyover Country.
Isaac,
I was gonna say you keep
Isaac, what are we covering today?
We're talking about the Amazon movie by Megan Park called My Old Ass. And it's set in like gentrified but still flyover like Canada, like northern Canada.
Mm-hmm.
Where are they? Is it Alberta or is it more like east?
I don't know anything about Canada. I've never been there. You're the one who's been there.
It's true. I feel like it's more like bordering New York, Canada.
Sure it is.
Maybe Great Lakes area. You don't get a strong sense, except like, it's not American. So that's good. That's cool.
Only because they talk about going to University of Toronto.
But yes, exactly. UT. With the dude from Wednesday who got fired off Wednesday. We'll get into all that.
Why? Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, do you not know about any of this?
No.
Cool. Well, I'll tell you all about it because
Great.
I know a lot about it.
I can't wait to hear the tea.
What I know is definitely not just what my sister told me.
Okay, well, I cannot wait to hear what you know that your sister definitely did not tell you.
So, Walter, did you watch My Old Ass?
Nope.
Nice.
Right on. Before we dive in, drink check. What's everyone drinking?
Ginger ale.
Any ginger in your beverage, Walter?
No, I'm rocking the classic. I'm rocking what our parents used to drink, and that's water.
Oh, our parents did used to drink a lot of water.
Do you remember that? It was crazy.
It was crazy.
How do y'all feel about RFK wanting to take fluoride out of water?
Oh, we're getting right into it. Is that what we want to talk about tonight?
Oh my god.
Actually, he didn't want to do that, but apparently that is a bill that was introduced to the Arkansas.
I was about to say Arkansas is already trying to make moves.
So.
No, and he does want to remove fluoride.
Yeah.
That is something. Fluoride is good for your teeth. No fluoride is bad for your teeth.
Are y'all weird about tap water?
I don't like the taste of tap water. I like either like Brita filter water or fridge water. Like I like filtered water just because of the taste. Is that
true of like everywhere you've lived?
Yeah.
Or can you? Okay, so you can't like back home. You can't drink the tap water.
Yeah, and I think I don't drink water from restaurants either because it's always tap water and it tastes really bad to me. So that's why I started getting unsweet tea at restaurants. So it's basically just slightly bitter water. That's unsweet tea, and I really like that.
Well, I'm drinking, since everyone was asking, lemon ginger tea. So 2/3 of us on a ginger kick tonight.
Why didn't y'all tell me we were doing ginger tonight? Because
I'm always on a ginger kick.
Much like in the way that we knew you weren't gonna watch the movie, we coordinated around you. So
yeah, okay, you always do.
Hey, Isaac, what's up with this mug?
Someone want to read what's on my mug?
I'm not reading that out loud.
Walter, read it. Read it. Read it,
Walter.
Fine, I'll read it. It says, woke up sexy as hell again, which means it's not the first time he's done it.
He thinks this is
not a question for you. And I insisted that we hit record as soon as my co-host and my producer realized what my mug said when I was taking a sip of this sweet tea. Mm-hmm. This sweet it's not sweet, but it's good.
It's just hot, sweet
savory,
tea.
hot sweet tea. Was my question for y'all is, am I the type of person who would buy this mug for myself?
No.
You two know me better than most people.
No, I don't think you would. That's definitely a gift.
I feel like
Olivia's not as
would.
confident as I am.
I can't. I feel really on the fence.
She's smiling real
like,
big while she says, she's like, I don't want to believe that you would.
I don't. That's it. I think I don't want to believe that you would get that for yourself. I can see where you're feeling real froggy one day and just kind of whimsical as hell and just like, I'm just gonna get it. Just
like Kermit the Frog. I really like this mug. I think I'm gonna buy it for myself.
Just feeling yourself that day. So I'm final answer. No, you did not buy that for you. You would not buy that for yourself.
Ding ding ding. You guys are correct. Who do you think bought it for me?
I don't know if Jess would have bought that for you. I don't know. I'm not. I can't say
definitively. The face you're making makes me feel like
she bought it for me.
Did.
Yep, she bought it for me.
What do I know?
Was this like a funny gift, or was she very sincere?
Everybody listening know that Walter's just like gut twisting reaction, where he was like, he like threw open his mouth a little bit whenever he read what was on the mug. It was really funny. So
it was
everyone know.
It was that vitriolic. I could have described that better myself.
Vitriol, man. Yeah. I used the word. No, please.
No, I was going to say I've been trying to use that word more in my life, and I'm glad that it's hitting.
You're succeeding.
Yeah,
I feel like
you know how people feel about that. They really like it.
The people love it.
They're a really big fan of it. So much so that it's gonna be 30 seconds of cheering for my impressive vocabulary.
I used the word impenetrable.
That's a good one.
On a call today. Mm-hmm. And one of the guys on the call is like he's like a pretty big deal, like in the community that we're working with.
Okay.
And he was like, impenetrable. I'm going to start using that word. And I was like,
all right. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. And Isaac said, yeah, I knew you'd like that. I woke up feeling pretty sexy as hell again this morning.
Woke up sexy as hell again.
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 Yeah. So,
hey, my old ass.
I was about to say, yes, we should dive right in. And I was on the last episode, and I needed to, y'all know that this happened since the last time we recorded, but it needs to be said. I finally watched Dune.
I gotta read what Walter said.
I know. We'll use this one. Yeah. That's for me finally watching Dune. We have not seen Dune Part 2 yet.
When you edit this, you need to make sure that both of those are like way down, because they're like just so thunderously.
I'm gonna make them louder. I'm gonna make them louder now that you said that.
I don't think you should. I don't think you should.
No, it's been on our to watch list for a long time.
Dune
is on our to Dune list. And we thought it was really. Morgan turned to me about 10 minutes into it and very seriously said, "I really like this." And I was like, "Yep, this is very good."
Were you like, hell yeah, brother?
The whole time I was. We were planning on watching the second one this past weekend, but we just didn't get around to it. But very soon, we will be viewing Dune Part 2. But I'm really glad we watched it. It felt like a rite of passage.
Well, you're just in time to wait 3 years till Dune Messiah comes out. So,
but
the show
Max is about to have a show. Yeah,
no, it's already out.
That good.
Isaac,
it's already out.
It's been getting really good reviews.
Did you say it's not good?
I think it's.
Have you watched
it? Not that great. Yes, I watched the first episode.
Okay.
And I was like, okay.
How many episodes are out? 3 episodes are out as of this recording?
Yes. I watched the first episode and a half, and I was like, okay. And it's one of those shows where it's like, I want to check it out because it's Dune, and I was like, that first episode, I told Jess, I was like, that was really choppy. But we were both like, we had a tumultuous year. Lots of good, but a lot of challenges. And whenever we land on something where it's like, meh, we're like, just move on. You know, if we're looking for something to watch together. And it was like, for me, I was like, but I was like, you know.
There are no words we can use to describe your feelings here. It's just little grunts.
It's like in Barry when she's like, you want but they want you to bring and I'm here to help you go I just did that and I didn't mean to, but that's how I feel about it.
No, that's good.
Yeah,
that's good. I like that. Before we talk about my old ass, I have one more thing I need to talk about. I'm currently still watching it, but
I want to talk about a couple things after you talk about a couple things.
This is really quick recommendation. I have been watching something called Harry Potter and the Stone. It is on YouTube. It is an over 2-hour video, and it is a bunch of college students from North Carolina who recreated the entire Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone movie, like frame, not frame for frame, but like scene for scene. And it's just like, as the movie progresses, it turns more and more into a parody instead of like an actual like faithful recreation. It's like, it's almost like this descent into madness as you're watching it, and it is sublime. And it's completely free to watch. It's on YouTube. So if you just search Harry Potter and the Stone, it has, I believe right now, came out 4 months ago, it has 2 million views. It blew up in the algorithm.
Is it as funny as all the TikToks of not me, not Hermione, yo?
It's that energy, but kind of like a little more understated, and it's 2 hours long. So, highly recommended.
Awesome.
Okay.
We should do something like that. I was going to say that since Walter has come into my life, David Lynch has just been continuing to pop up, like in my dreams and in my subconscious. And
sorry to hear that.
Our friend Jordan Gottsboner came into town, and he and I watched Blue Velvet on Saturday night, and it was revelatory, and it's so good. I'm still thinking about it. I think everyone should watch that movie. And that's what I wanted to say. Okay. Shout out Horror Time, who's probably listened to this.
I feel like you guys are using great vocabulary words today.
What do you bring to the table, Olivia, in this round?
Nothing. Absolutely nothing.
Hey,
not one thing.
Hey, man.
I don't know.
We're all friends here.
I can't force it, it's got to come naturally, and I feel like if I try to like use some word, it's just going to feel so forced. And
you're funny though. Like,
oh, stop.
You should just
stop.
Say it,
Stop.
Just get it out.
No. We'll see what happens.
You guys.
Anyway, my old ass.
After this podcast, you're going to be one less lonely girl.
I don't know if that's going to ever happen, which is fine.
Gonna be one less lonely girl. How'd you know about my beaver fever? That's from my
It's from the movie. From the movie. Walter.
I figured.
Yeah. The main character, what's her name?
I don't know.
Elliot.
I know the actress who plays her is
producing over here, right in the
Maisie.
Yeah.
Lennon?
Maisie Stella.
Maisie's young Elliot.
Yep.
Elliot, that's the name. The whole time I was like, man, if I have a daughter, I'm going to name her Elliot, but that would require so many other things to happen before I have a daughter, so I'm thinking way too far.
Less than you would think.
But more than you would think. So, anyway.
Right.
Anyway.
It's two sides of the same coin.
Two sides of the same coin.
Yeah.
Anyway, the whole time I was like, why does this actress playing young Elliot look so familiar? Do you guys remember...
She went to college with us, didn't she?
No, but that would have been crazy.
That would have been crazy.
Do you guys remember about 10, maybe 11 years ago when these two little girls who are sisters did a cover of the Lumineers' Ho Hey. Do you guys remember that at all?
No.
Okay, well, you guys were not chronically online in high school like I was. So.
I was. I think probably just different corners of the internet.
Was Ho Hey
Olivia.
when we were in high school?
Yeah, it came out our senior year.
Like in the fall or in the spring? Is that a
Actually, I
fall
think
core
it came
song?
out...
2012.
It came out in 2012.
Krispy Kreme, 2012.
Oh, here it is. Well, I found their channel. It was Lennon and Maisie.
Anyway, they went viral for this cover of Ho Hey, and then they ended up, or at least Maisie ended up getting on the TV show Nashville, which I did not realize she was on that show until I was looking her up. Anyway, so that was that tidbit. You're welcome for all of that.
Wow, I found their old channel.
Yeah.
Where is the Ho Hey video?
I don't know, but
They had a lot. Their
it
last video
exists.
was only 6 years ago, so
Oh,
bring him back.
She's really good. I think you would like this movie, Walter, and I think Morgan would.
Well, okay. We should watch it because I do like Aubrey Plaza, and the trailers look good. And it seems like you'll correct me if I'm wrong. This is the feeling I get from this movie, and I want y'all to tell me if this is accurate or not. It feels like a small movie. Do y'all know what I mean when I say that? Mm-hmm. Where it's like the stakes are low, but also like not in a, I don't mean that in a negative way, but also just like the scope of the movie is very small because it's got a very small cast. Mm-hmm. So tell me about that.
Mm-hmm.
so let's probably give a synopsis
We can back it up.
of the movie.
Yes, I'll read it since I didn't watch it.
Great.
A mushroom trip brings free-spirited Elliot, Aubrey Plaza, face-to-face with her 39-year-old self. Sorry. Maisie...
Other way around.
I'm a moron. Maisie Stella plays
We're
young
not even
Elliot.
talking about this movie. We're talking about Dune Part 1.
Oh, I forgot. Hold on. We got to switch gears.
My
But
bad, guys.
when Elliot's old ass, who is Aubrey Plaza, delivers warnings to her younger self, Elliot realizes she has to rethink everything about her family, life, and love.
It's very like sweet, low stakes, and emotional at the end. Yeah.
Yeah.
There are pockets throughout where I was like, this is so real. Like if you've had, if you have a family and kind of like complex little, like you love them, but you're also like kind of drive me crazy, especially if you live together, and the feeling of like getting ready to leave, but then being sad that you're leaving them behind. And then, yeah, it's very good writing.
Yeah, I really liked it. And Walter, you're correct. It is a small movie. The stakes are low, and it is, in some ways, it kind of feels like a slice of life movie, but it's not quite that simple, like Dazed and Confused or like Napoleon Dynamite. But it is very much a coming of age, which I think we all love a good coming of age film on this podcast. And so I think it's one of those movies where I think you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, especially I am now 30. You guys are about to be in your 30s. And so it's, this new kind of chapter in our lives and a new decade, and reflecting. I did a lot of reflecting upon my 20s and what that was like and what I learned and what I wish I'd done differently, all of that. And I think that this is one of those movies where, the older Elliot, Aubrey Plaza, has the opportunity to kind of tell her younger self some things. And on one hand, it's like, man, I would love to tell my younger self so many things. And then on the other hand, if it hadn't been for those things, I wouldn't have gotten where I'm at, And so it's kind of that wrestles with that idea of what would you say to your younger self? How much would you tell your younger self? And I really love that idea. And I think that this movie wrestled with that and towed that line pretty well. I think, Isaac, I'm going to talk about your Letterboxd review where, Walter, I'm going to spoil this movie for you.
That's fine.
So
if it's low stakes, I don't feel like it's like a high action summer blockbuster.
No, it's not. The whole time she's telling Ellie, like she's telling her younger self not to interact with this guy named Chad. If you meet someone named Chad, don't pursue anything with him. Uh-huh. And younger Elliot finally meets Chad and is like, what's the deal with this guy? He seems great. And he does seem great. And then towards the end of the movie, you find out Chad dies. Or he has an early death. And obviously that is really difficult. And so, Isaac, I loved your review on Letterboxd of they're gonna my girl him, and they did. And I didn't think that. I hadn't even thought that far ahead. I also realized, I think that this is how I am when I watch movies. I'm not trying to like find the plot hole, or like I'm not trying to like figure out where they're going with this. With movies like this, I think with like maybe Knives Out or those types of movies, I'm more like, okay, what are they doing here? But with movies like this, I'm not putting forth that effort, I don't think. Even if it is maybe a little more obvious, but I do think that they did my girl him, and it's like, oh, well, that's a bummer to find out that he dies, but it also makes more sense because I think grief is really hard and not something anyone wants to talk about because we don't know what to do with it most of the time. And I think losing someone who is that great, how do you come back from that? Mm-hmm. Right?
So I was watching it and I watched most of Wednesday, and Percy Hines White plays Chad, who is helping out on... So the whole premise of this movie is that her family are like 5th generation cranberry farmers, and they own like a beautiful patch of land. She doesn't have a license or like a driver's license, but she has a boating license, and she drives her boat everywhere, and seemingly this town is connected on a lake, so she doesn't need a driver's license, so that's really cool.
Which is like the dream, honestly.
Yeah, honestly. It's pretty idyllic. But Chad's grandfather was friends with their grandfather or something, and he was back from school, and he like somehow got a job on the farm, and they have a meet cute when they're swimming. And it was really crazy because I was watching this movie, and I watched most of Wednesday, and I didn't really like his character in Wednesday. I was like, this guy kind of sucks, like, or this character sucks, one of the two. And then I find out that apparently he had done some kind of shady stuff with some females in the cast, and I don't know if it was Jenna Ortega or someone else, but I knew that he had gotten fired and they recast him, or they didn't renew his option. So I was watching this movie and I was like, oh, this is that guy. This is the guy from Wednesday. That I was like, okay, so he may do something bad. It's kind of intriguing, like, or he's gonna die. And then as the movie goes on, you're like, he's nice. The movie's not bringing any other characters that he could potentially like double cross. He's gonna die. And then, and the other thing about like the movie really needs is like 12 to 17 more minutes of Aubrey Plaza, because she shows up right at the beginning, and it's so good. And she and Maisie Stella have really great chemistry, and it's so funny. It's really funny when she's like, "Can I kiss you?" And she's like, "What? That's so weird." She's like, "You never wanted to know what it's like to kiss yourself." Like, really, really funny scene, and then she like disappears. But like they talk on the phone, but she doesn't show up again until like the end of the movie. So it's kind of like, like it was sweet, but it was also like, I just want a little bit more.
Yeah.
Aubrey Plaza. So
I think every movie could use more Aubrey Plaza.
so true.
I mean,
I won't argue with you on that.
thank you. I appreciate that. So, I do agree with you. I think that it could have used more Aubrey Plaza in it. I think that their chemistry was really great, and I really liked the dynamic between older Elliot and younger Elliot. And I think it really shows you. I don't know. I think it's fun to like think through of like how bright-eyed and bushy-tailed an 18-year-old is, and how they think they know everything, but actually they don't know anything. And that's true of every 18-year-old ever, including, the 18-year-old versions of ourselves. And
I used to be a real piece of shit.
I wasn't expecting you to say that.
Walter's trying so hard not to laugh.
No, I
He's
used to.
I said was.
As he's drinking out of the woke up sexy as hell again mug.
Slick back hair, white jeans, live for New Year's Eve.
Sloppy steaks at Trefani's.
They can't stop you from going. They say
From
no sloppy
ordering
steaks.
water and steaks.
Water. Glass of water.
We said
Medium
we'd
rare
stop doing
steak.
this. We said
Never.
we'd stop just going off on.
Did you really think you guys were going to stop?
I've been trying to.
No, I
You
know.
can't.
Yeah.
You can't control a man like Isaac.
No. He woke up sexy as hell
yeah.
again.
That should be how you
He
introduce me
can't
every
stop.
He can't stop, won't stop.
He keeps getting away with it.
episode. Can't stop. Fast break, down the court, slam dunk.
Stop.
Anyway,
Well,
were you bright-eyed and bushy-tailed when you were 18, Walter?
Yeah, what was 18-year-old Walter like? We didn't know you.
I'm glad. I'm glad you didn't
Were
know
you
me then.
also-
Was
real
it
piece of
because you used to be a real piece of
It used to be. I said was.
You was?
I just was very different. Everybody at 18 thinks that they you're like, I've got it all figured out. And they're like yeah, there are some things like I don't know yet, but like I've got it, and you think you have all the answers to not only your problems but everybody else's problems and then the world's problems, and you're like, if anybody would just listen to me, I can fix it all. And then you turn like 21, 22, and you're like, I don't have the answers for
All of
myself,
this
but I think I still got them for
sucks.
everybody else. Like I can still figure it out. 25, you're like, well, I think we're all trying to figure it out a little bit, but we're mostly making it. And then the closer you get to 30, you're like, I don't know how we're gonna make it to next year.
I don't know. I'm going to make it to tomorrow, let alone next year.
Yeah.
When I
At
turned
least that's
29,
been my
I was like-
experience.
yeah, when I turned 29, I was like, I wonder what it'd be like to kiss myself.
That's something we've all wondered.
Sure.
I mean, everybody's wondered it.
Yeah.
If you say you haven't, you're lying.
Yeah.
You're lying. You're a liar.
You're lying.
No, Walter, I think you're right. Like, I think that is how most people experience life, and I don't know if I trust anyone who says otherwise.
I don't either, and I think a sign of true maturity is not figuring things out or being like, okay, I've got this part of my life handled. True maturity is being like, I might never have this fully figured out, but it's okay. But it's fine.
It's okay.
This is fine.
It's all good.
Everything's fine.
It's all good.
This is fine.
What was your home life like when you were about to go to college? Were you like ready to go? Like ready to GTFO?
Are you asking me?
Kind of like Maisie, both of y'all.
Oh, it's so
Yeah,
long ago.
I had one foot out the door for a while. Yeah.
Yep.
I think I was ready. I think I was nervous though, because I'm not particularly extroverted, and I feel like I'm bad at making friends, which is actually not true. I am not extroverted. I'm very introverted, but I'm not bad at making friends. I just don't like talking to people.
And now,
That's
guess
fair.
what you do for a living?
and that's what I do for a living. So, but they pay me to talk to me, so that feels different, you know.
Yeah.
Kind of like our podcast.
Right.
Yeah.
They pay me
because we make a lot of money on this.
They're paying. Yeah. They're paying us.
They're paying us for sure. So, but no, I think I was excited. I was really nervous though.
Mm-hmm. My mom was really sad whenever I went to college, even though I was 30 minutes away, and my dad like brought in. So we went to UCA. Olivia and I were on student orientation staff, and you have like all your stuff in your room, and like you walk up to your room and everything's there. Like that's the work ethic of the orientation staffers. And so I walked in and we left to go to Walmart, came back. My dad like set the stuff down and he's like, all right, bud, see you later. And like walked out, and he was like over it. And I think he was thinking too, at least this is what I would have been thinking. He had 3 more kids to go.
That's what I was gonna say.
After
like
me. And he was just like, he's like, all right, call me if you need anything. See you. You got this.
He's like,
and how many times had he done that already?
3 times.
Yeah.
Before me. So, and my mom like, you know, dilly dallied, and she was pretty sad. But yeah. So I remember that vividly. My dad was like, all right, see you, bud.
Yeah, I think I can't remember how. My parents might have gotten a little emotional like the first time they dropped me off, and they helped me move a couple times after that. Like, you know, you just for some reason you just move every year in college.
Yeah, why do we do that?
At the end of every year, like, all right, guess I gotta get somewhere else. Why?
Do you remember the room I lived in at the K-Life house? You remember how big that was?
Yeah, your room?
Yeah. It was like when you walk in and then to the left. It was like, it's smaller than the upstairs room I'm in now. But after I moved out, I paid $300 a month, which is like not bad at all for basically a room. But I had to like walk down the hall to go to the restroom. And it was so small after I moved out, they put a washer and dryer in there.
I was gonna say, I feel like it's now the washer and dryer.
It was a tiny
laundry room.
It was a tiny space. So.
Yeah, I was like, you had a really small. That's what I thought you had a really small room. So, yes, I do remember that room you were in the K-Life house.
Yep. So
what a weird set of guys.
That was crazy. Crazy times.
Crazy times. So, okay, Isaac, I have a question for you.
Okay.
As a parent, how did this movie hit you? Did it hit you any differently, especially when she is talking to her mom about, like, leaving? Because I was thinking about that, of, like, having those conversations with my mom as I was going off to college, and still, like, even now, but I was wondering, did that hit you any differently as a parent or anything like that?
I think I gotta pull up the cast list, but that scene where they're sitting talking is really good. And there's a scene before it that kind of like broke my heart a little bit, because now I realize when my parents are kind of like just like kind of farting around, not really like saying anything, and if I like need to go somewhere or do something, then I'm kind of like, all right, come on, let's get it going, you know, I got places to be, things to do. But now I get that when they are acting that way, it's because they just want to be around me, and that's it. That's like, they don't really expect anything. They just want to they want to like just be with me. And I get that now that I have kids. It's like, okay, like this is what it's like. I gotta you know, I gotta, or not gotta, but like I enjoy spending time with them more now, because I realize how, like, I'm just now getting to the point where I'm actually sad, like putting Sophie to bed, because she's starting to enjoy spending time with us. and it's not all like difficult with her. It's like getting a little easier. So that scene out definitely brought a tear to my eye for sure.
Excuse me. There's at one point in the movie, Walter, older Elliot tells younger Elliot to be nice to mom, because she deserves to be treated well. And you know, when you're 18, you're just not really kind to your parents, especially your mom. And so in the movie, she starts to like, and, you know, ask her mom if she needs help around the house, or, you know, if she wants to hang out and that kind of stuff. Because it's like 3 weeks before she goes off to college. So it's really like coming down to the wire there. And so there's one point where her mom is sitting kind of around like this little campfire setup they have. And her mom says something about how when she was little, Elliot had a hard time falling asleep. Like nothing would, like she cried for 2 years and didn't sleep through the night at all, which sounds miserable. But eventually she just, you know, one day she was like, I'm going to sleep, and she just went to sleep. And Elliot was like, well, that must have been really nice for you. And she goes, well, it was nice, but also it was the last time I didn't realize that was the last time I was gonna ever like put you to sleep like that and like rock you to sleep. And it made me really emotional just thinking about it.
That part got me.
That was just so sad and so sweet, because she was like, and I realized I'm gonna have a lot of last times with you. And I was like, oh no. And that made me super sad, just like as a daughter.
Walter's crying right now.
Well,
I'm not.
He is crying right now.
Just rubbing those tears
Just
away.
thinking about all the laughs he's gonna have with Joe at some point. Wait, actually, no, I can't keep talking about that. That's gonna make me sad. That's gonna make me cry.
Now hearing all these things, I know Morgan and I should watch this together. I think we'd get a lot out of it.
Yeah, I think you guys would.
It's really good.
I think it's really sweet. So
Tonight I was putting Sophie to bed, and she's so hyperactive. She'll like get in bed, lay down, and I got this machine that like projects stars up on the wall, and it like rotates, and she's like, star, moon, sun, and then she'll like come and sit with me, and then she'll get back in bed, and then she'll come and sit with me. And when she finally settles down, I know she's like getting chilled out, because she'll like sit in my lap and face me, and she'll like grab my beard. She like started doing this last week. She grabs my beard and she just goes like,
Just rubs it.
and feels how like scratchy it is. And I was like, I was like, you like my beard? And she's like, yeah. And then she like grabs the back of my head and like presses her forehead against my forehead as hard as she can. And then she like rubs it again. And she like does that several times. It's the cutest.
I love stuff like that, man. That's what
that's really cute.
Joe does, stuff like her. I don't know. I don't know, Isaac, if your girl's like, I know Louisa's still pretty young, but if Sophie like looks you in the eyes a whole lot, because they're so hyperactive and there's like so many things that take their attention. So like I find that Joe doesn't look me in the eyes like a ton, at least when we're like close together, you know. So like if I'm holding her, or if she like walks up to me and I'm like, you know, crouching down or sitting on the floor or something, and she like makes like direct intentional eye contact with me and just smiles at me, it's game over. I can't handle it. It's too cute. It's too sweet.
Yep. It's the best. It's really sweet. Were either of y'all like Elliot, and that you were like completely out of the loop? A big thing in the movie, Walter, is they find out that or she finds out that they're selling the farm, and that it's like, oh, I'm leaving, and also Holton's not going to be here when I come back from school. And they keep telling her like her younger brother knew, and their dad, like literally everyone knew except her. And they all said, we tried to tell you, but you were always out doing something, you know. And were either of y'all like that?
No. I've always been a homebody, even when I was like living with my parents. I don't know. I never did anything bad. I never stayed up past bedtime or anything.
Yeah, the only time I didn't have a curfew. The only time I ever stayed out really late, it was like 3 o'clock, I think, when I got home, was I had fallen asleep at my friend's house who lived down the road from me. Actually, Isaac, this girl went to college with Jess. They know each other. I know, isn't that crazy? But she lived down the street from me, and my mom was friends with her mom, and so it wasn't even a really big deal that I was out till like 3 o'clock, because my mom knew exactly where I was, and it wasn't big. I have like zero things in common with Elliot. Like, there could not be more different of a character for me.
Except you did have Bieber fever.
I did not have Bieber fever.
Olivia, you can admit it to us. It's okay.
Hey, listen. I didn't actually. I did not.
I laughed really hard at the One Less Lonely Girl scene.
Set the scene for old Walter.
Well, it's the second trip that she does, and it's honestly worth watching the movie for that scene. And there's some really funny good. like you cut away, you cut back, and something's different, and you cut away and you cut back, and it's like classic, like really good comedic filmmaking, just in like a physical performance of Percy Hines White is like pretty funny in that scene, I thought. And then Maisie Stella is like really funny in that scene throughout the whole thing. So definitely gotta watch a movie now. So
yeah. No, y'all sold me on it.
Great.
I don't know if we ever sold Walter so quickly on a movie.
Remember when we were trying to describe how like sincere and moving and emotional Sing Sing was, and he was like, "Don't care. What's next?"
Because you talked about it too long.
That's fair. We were trying to get through a lot in that one episode. So Walter was trying to keep it moving. He was doing his job and trying to keep us on track as far as our time was concerned. And
Speaking
Isaac was
of
having
which,
none of it. Yeah, where are we at? Oh,
it's time to wrap it.
Let's wrap this plane.
Let's wrap this plane.
That's how the saying goes.
Plane.
Listen, I would like to say it was a long day. It wasn't. I'm just tired.
I'd like to just let everyone know. It's just a normal day, just really brain dead. I'd like to let everyone know that for the first time since all year, we know what our next episode is going to be. It's going to be my Y2K. Y2K.
Might have to get to the theaters for that one.
If I have time to see Kraven the Hunter, I might do some Easter eggs.
Yeah, more power to you.
Beginning of the Y2K episode, but that's going to come out in 2 weeks. Y2K, that's Kyle Mooney. He's directed movies before. I haven't seen any of them, but this is his first like big movie. Rachel
it's an
Zegler,
A24, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
Rachel Zegler, Julian Dennison from Hunt for the Wilder People, who was like one of the funniest. I sincerely think one of the funniest actors right now.
He was in Deadpool 2, right? Yep. Okay.
And then what's the kid? I always mix up this kid with Jacob Tremblay, and I know they're different.
They're different. This kid was in It.
Pale white kids. He played
Jaden Martell.
Billy.
Yes.
Jaden Martell.
Thank you.
Jaden Martell is also really good. It's going to be a good movie. I'm excited.
Yeah. I've been a fan of Kyle Mooney for a long time. So, yeah, I'm going to try to get to the theater for this one, too. Hey.
Right on.
I don't know when does War of the Rohirrim come out?
The 13th. You want to see that?
I kind of want to see that.
Let's see.
This is big because I said this in the
doubleheader
chat.
War of the Rohirrim and Kraven the Hunter.
To y'all last week that if there's going to be anything that makes me not hate anime so much, it might be Lord of the Rings, War of the Rohirrim,
or Cowboy Bebop.
No.
Oh, come on.
Bro.
Nope.
Have you seen Cowboy Bebop?
No,
I've seen most
won't
of
watch it. It's in this episode before we talk about anime too much.
Okay.
Shut up. Well, just like, shut up.
Don't care. Next.
Don't care.
Don't care. What's
Don't
next?
care.
You gotta watch Cowboy Bebop.
Nope.
Cowboy Bebop is like one of my all-time favorite things ever.
Okay.
It's up there with Jesus
care.
and Twin Peaks.
Did you say Jesus and Twin
Yeah,
Peaks?
yes, he did.
Okay. Cool.
Or I
Hey.
should have said David Lynch, but thank you for listening. Were you about to say something?
I was just gonna say, well, you're about to do the outro.
Don't care. I'm doing the outro.
You're gonna
Got
mention.
his ass. Got his old ass.
Nice.
You're gonna mention Macy Lummis and Jordan Cox, and they are. I sent this in the chat a couple weeks ago. I don't know them. I think I met Jordan once at a thrift thing that he was DJing at a few years ago. Very nice, but I sent this in the chat. I was going through Arkansas Bridal, I think is the name of the magazine. Just keep it up to date with wedding trends, as that is my job. And saw that they had like a full page spread about their wedding that looked really beautiful and very nice, and they looked very good.
It was a really nice wedding.
So, congrats to them again.
Good time.
Okay, finish it up.
And our next episode is Y2K. Please remember to rate, review, and subscribe. And
I'm playing you out.
we got some really exciting stuff coming in 2025. So